We have, on the lunch break, in the questioning of Richard Walton at the Undercover Policing Inquiry. Richard Walton was a special branch officer who was working on the Stephen Lawrence review team. He drafted the sections on racism along two other leads, one of which was working on incompetence and another of which was working on corruption. Yeah, sorry. I mean, it has been an incredibly difficult. Once we got through the initial sort of stages of his appointment, we've gone into a great amount of detail about where he changed his role from the Stephen Lawrence review team to CO14, which was the Racial and Violent Crime Task Force. He is being incredibly petty about exactly when it was that he moved between those units. The suggestion being that somehow he had completed his role as in drafting submissions before he met with HN81, and sort of downplaying the fact that regardless of which role he was in, he was a conduit for Special Branch throughout. That's why he was there. He's blatantly lying about his memory and knowledge of it. It's been interminable. Evelyn, how have you found it?
Yeah, well, same. So it's made even worse that we're going through all these details. Well, before he has been explaining that official documents on which role you have in the administration of the police are often 2 months late, or like you start a new role and before the admin through this time, and now he uses this similar kind of documents to make his case that he had finished his role on the Lawrence review team before he saw HN81. The difference is a day, he claims to finish his role on the 7th of August, and the meeting is on the 8th. And before, he has been explaining that it's like a bit of a gray area. These teams were like all new, and they didn't have a room. And then also, the Lawrence review team went on to be what was it? SO10.
SO24.
SO24, and it was all
CO24.
It was all like sort of a bit of a sort of a slow overview, and it was so it's like very unlikely that there was no contact, and also
he's in the meetings. He's in mid-August,
and also it's sort of deflection as well, isn't
Massively,
it? We talk about dates and hours and times, while we don't talk about the importance of what he was doing and what was his contact with Lambert, what was the role in Lambert. And don't forget that when he was interviewed by the Ellison Review, which was the first one of the first reviews into the Spy channel before the inquiry was set up, he changed his story so much that Ellison decided that he wasn't a credible witness, and
basically a liar. That's what I mean, especially when someone like that says it.
He was referred to the IPCC, who investigated and said, like Funny said, he had a case to answer. Unfortunately, he retired a day before that became known. So much lying here, and he's
such a slimy git as well.
I was just going to say he's so slick, and he's so and
turkey teeth,
and focusing on all this is not focusing on what this all is about and who set up the meeting and what Lambert's role was and why it was set up. If it was if it was not for the Lawrence review, there was a Lambert claims there was a channel directly to the top of the Met to get this information across. What else was it than undermining the Lawrences?
Well, quite, yes. We will come to that after lunch. We've an early finish for lunch, and we'll hopefully get to the substantive nature of it after lunch. I hope we've finally finished all the documents that show when he was. I mean, there was a point where we were looking at 2 copies of the same document, which have been hole punched in slightly different places. I mean, I think that illustrates the kind of the level of detail that this process has been through. At one point, Tim Salisbury, who was the case, the lawyer asking the questions, the counsel to the inquiry, was said moving forward an hour and a half in terms of a day of meetings. I mean, the granular detail, the particulars has been so specific. I mean, I apologize. My tweets have been very, very infrequent. There hasn't been a great deal to say because, I mean, essentially it is, I mean, it's him trying to get out of something. Him working on the assumption that that says the 8th, when in fact it was the 10th. But there's a whole bunch in the way, and it just, I mean, these little details which have just been gone back and forth at length. He talks about, I had to go on holiday for 2 weeks. Well, I was moving house. Well, there was this and there was this. Oh no, I couldn't have been there then. And besides, the substantive work had been done, and the stylistic tone. I mean, that was about proofreading really, and that wouldn't have changed anything. And just
it's like losing your will to live, really.
Yes. We'll be back. I'm going to be a short video because I think we all need a bit of fresh air. We'll be back after lunch with hopefully an examination of the meeting that took place with HN81, how much that fed into things, how what the fact that he was the conduit essentially.
No doubt he will correct the story that, like what is known as the meeting in Lambeth Garden was not taking place in his garden, but inside his house.
Who gives a shit? I mean, honestly, I was expecting a floor plan to come up. Thanks for joining us. Please like, share, subscribe, all that.